Ever wondered how your favorite chocolate bar is made? You know, the one you sneak a bite of after dinner, the one that melts in your mouth and not in your hand. Well, get ready to learn, because we're about to take you on a bloody journey from the humble cocoa bean to that delicious final product. We're diving deep into the fascinating and often messy process of chocolate production. Get ready to get your hands dirty. What's something people don't know about harvesting cocoa beans? These little beauties come from the Theobroma cacao tree, which, by the way, literally means food of the gods. And let me tell you, harvesting these pods is no easy feat. It's hot, sweaty work, and you need a keen eye to pick the right ones. We're talking about hacking these pods off the trees with machetes, people. This is not for the faint of heart. Once you've got your pods, you need to crack them open to get to the good stuff inside. The cocoa beans. These are surrounded by a sweet white pulp, which, believe it or not, is actually quite tasty. You'd be surprised how many people have never even tasted the fruit of the cacao tree. Now this is where things start to get interesting. Remember that sweet pulp we talked about? Well, it's time to put it to work. The beans and pulp are dumped into shallow boxes or even wrapped in banana leaves and left to ferment for days. You heard me right, we're talking about letting these things rot. But trust me, it's all part of the process. This fermentation is what gives the chocolate its complex flavors. Natural yeasts and bacteria get to work breaking down the pulp and changing the chemical makeup of the beans. It's a delicate dance, and if you get it wrong, you might as well throw the whole batch in the bin. After a good ferment, the beans are spread out to dry. Think of it like a giant sunbathing session for cocoa beans. This is crucial to prevent mold growth and get the beans ready for storage and transport. You don't want to be shipping off moldy beans, do you? That's a recipe for disaster. The drying process can take about a week, and it's important to turn the beans regularly to ensure even drying. You can't rush perfection, people. Finally, it's time to roast those beans. This is where the magic really starts to happen. The beans are roasted at different temperatures and for different lengths of time, depending on the desired flavor profile. It's like cooking a steak. You want to get that perfect char on the outside while keeping the inside nice and juicy. Roasting enhances the chocolate flavor and makes it easier to remove the outer shell. You'll know they're done when you get that rich chocolatey aroma filling the air. Once the beans are roasted to perfection, it's time to get rid of those pesky outer shells. This process is called winnowing, and it involves cracking the beans open and separating the shells from the nibs. Think of it like cracking open a peanut. You want the good stuff inside, not the shell. These nibs are the heart and soul of chocolate production. They're pure, concentrated cocoa flavor, and they're about to get transformed into something truly special. Get ready for some serious muscle, because it's time to grind those nibs into a thick, luscious paste called cocoa liquor. Don't let the name fool you. There's no alcohol involved here. This stuff is pure, unadulterated chocolate in its most basic form. This liquor contains both cocoa solids and cocoa butter, which are the building blocks of all things chocolate. It's rich, it's intense, and it's absolutely divine. This is where the real artistry comes into play. The cocoa liquor is mixed with other ingredients like sugar, milk powder, if we're making milk chocolate, of course, and even more cocoa butter. This is where chocolatiers can really let their creativity shine, adding different flavors and textures to create their own unique masterpieces. The mixture is then refined through a series of rollers to achieve a silky smooth texture. We're talking smoother than a baby's bottom, people. Now it's time for conching, a process that sounds a bit like something you do to a bad oyster, but trust me, it's crucial for developing the flavor and texture of the chocolate. The refined mixture is heated and continuously mixed, kind of like a giant chocolatey whirlpool. This process can take hours, even days, depending on the desired result. It's all about reducing the particle size and ensuring that all those lovely ingredients are evenly distributed. Tempering is probably the most temperamental stage of the entire chocolate-making process. Get it wrong, and you'll be left with a dull, streaky mess. Get it right, And you'll be rewarded with a glossy, beautiful chocolate that snaps perfectly when you break it. This is where we cool and reheat the chocolate in a very controlled way to stabilize the cocoa butter crystals. It's a bit like a science experiment, but trust me, the results are worth it. Finally, it's time to give our chocolate its final form. The tempered chocolate is poured into molds of all shapes and sizes. From simple bars to intricate designs, the possibilities are endless. Once the molds are filled, they're cooled to allow the chocolate to solidify. This is the moment of truth, people. It's like waiting for a cake to bake, except a million times better. Once the chocolate has set, it's carefully removed from the molds and inspected for any imperfections. Only the best of the best will make it through our rigorous quality control. Then it's time to wrap these beauties up and get them ready to be shipped off to chocolate lovers all over the world. From bean to bar, it's been a long and delicious journey, but we're finally here. Now, some chocolate makers like to get a bit fancy and add extra ingredients before the molding stage. We're talking nuts, fruits, caramel, you name it. These additions can add another layer of flavor and texture to the chocolate, taking it to a whole new level. And let's not forget about all the other amazing things you can do with chocolate. It can be used as an ingredient in countless desserts or even enjoyed on its own as a luxurious treat. And there you have it. From harvesting those precious cocoa pods to packaging the final product, you've now seen the incredible journey chocolate takes. It's a labor of love, a testament to human ingenuity, and bloody delicious. Next time you unwrap a chocolate bar, take a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship that went into making it. It's not just a treat, it's a work of art. Thanks for joining me on this chocolate adventure. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with a certain chocolate bar.